Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. Today, in episode 12, we continue with inner wisdom and releasing snap using Snap Tap Zap. So, I hope you're ready to roll today as we give me a second here, trying to do many things. Excellent. So, inner wisdom yesterday, we talked about the inner wisdom and what is it that's way within us. I was watching a movie yesterday. Yes, I do watch movies. And it dawned upon me that, when we're little kids, we have a way of sometimes we're told to suck it up, right? Those emotions. And they kind of have an effect on us later on in life because Um, okay, I'm having computer issues. I can't see anything. Here we go. and they play a role in the sense that if we stuff our emotions down, do we give place for our inner wisdom to shine, to come through? It depends. Look at your parents. Did both your parents have the ability to say what they truly felt? Or were they saying things that came from a place of fear? The fear of not being a good enough parent, the fear of, I don't know, there are so many different things. They don't want you to get hurt. So they're kind of overprotecting you as well. So that has an effect on us as an adult because unconsciously in the back of our mind, this plays 24/7. There's this little voice that might be saying, or this little feeling might be saying, oh, that's not safe. You need to do things this way. And then we end up um, doing things in a way that we wish we hadn't been doing them. So I want to welcome Christian Mendez, dad of 4 kids. I'm assuming he'll be up soon. Anyway, in the meantime, there we go, sideways in all directions. You're making us nauseous there, Christian, but it's okay. As I was talking about the fear that we may have picked up when we were small that prevents us from experiencing the ability to listen to our inner wisdom. And I'm sure I know a little bit about your background, but I'm sure there's a lot more that you haven't mentioned, which is okay. We don't need to mention all the background. We don't need to mention all the hurts that we've been through, all those times that we felt disappointed by the way our parents talked to us. However, we need to release it all, right? So I'm going to go right in. And if there's something popping up that has to do with blocking your inner wisdom from shining through, Christian, I'd love for you to share, as we have people probably today that are new to the snap. Breathe in, tap as you relax the shoulders, and exhale any of those emotions that may be blocking your inner wisdom from shining. Often we are unconscious of some of these fears, but they were um, induced, or we learned them from our parents, our
Yes,
community, the society we're
yes,
in, right?
yes. The
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
Remember, this is how it is. You know, let's identify quick things because I was with a great gentleman, Erskine, that hopefully he's going to be joining us, and we talked a little bit about toxic masculinity. But let's
Mm,
go for blatant attacks on who you are not. And
mm,
I say blatant because anybody, especially as men, if you're sad, we get that callus, okay, callus, for those folks that know about working with your hands. Somebody else says, "Oh, man up." Hey, listen, I understand that. I understand that that's the definition that they have had. And failing to meet people's definitions are exactly why people feel any type of way. So let's understand, first of all, he or she is hurt, or they were told a story about what masculinity, what manning up is.
Yeah.
Trust me, we've gone through traumas that have made us more stronger, resilient. There's not one that has you've faced that you have not overcome. So that we're going to start off with today. There's been no challenge,
Yeah.
there's not one bad day that you have not overcome. Where we're at today, I know you may have had a bad day, you had a bad moment,
Mhm.
you overcame it and you are here today. And if you're in the middle of it, let's stop and think. And we do have to celebrate our wins, okay?
Yes. Totally.
We've gone through the last time that we had an issue and you got through it. So I say let's just identify some things. Man up. Hey, be a man.
Yeah.
Hey, weakness, don't give her your strength. Wait a minute. So I have a loving wife of 23 years whom I still have challenges of communication with. Ladies and gentlemen, things can get easier, things can get harder. It's not just because you age, it's the willingness and the energy that you put into anything. Whether you want to make it easier, you will make it easier. You'll find different things to make things easier, but you have to be looking for them consciously. And the way we do that is by, again, we got to hijack our brains back to control and stop listening to the outside. You got this, you should this, you got that. And I'm going to tell you another truth bomb here, just what we see on TV, what we see on social media, what we see on these highlight reels of folks that are is exactly that, highlight reels. And most of these men that you see nice and muscular, not a lot, but most, I said most, and you can do your due diligence and research. There's hair plugs and there's implants and there's and just because we look a certain way, and I will tell you once again, type 2 diabetes reversed for the second time, just because you look like you're built in bodybuilder style does not mean you are healthy and
Yeah.
does not mean that we have a healthy mental health.
Yes.
So
And I
we,
like
we
that you
can,
talked about that today, Christian, because, sometimes people think that your size has to do with your strength.
oh,
Okay. But my dad is this little guy. And when I say little, he weighs 103 pounds and he used to be 5'4" and now he's like 5'1" and he's 90 years old. But the strength in his muscles that are tiny muscles, some people just have like that inner strength. Your muscles do not need to be big to be strong. That's my conclusion. Your research, as Christian says. And the other thing that yeah, and if you want to have big muscles, it's okay. Go for
that's
it. I'm
okay
not
too. Yeah,
saying
yeah,
don't go for it. I'm saying if that feels good and that's what your goal
yes,
is, and that helps you build your self confidence, that's okay. But I was talking, you mentioned something, and I had talked about it earlier just before you arrived, was that, we're told not to cry. And you came up
right,
and said, man up. So were you reading my mind?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the thing. It
And
was, it's said in
let's
so
go to
many
two
different,
truths.
yeah, just a sec. It's said in so
Yes.
many different ways, but it means the same thing. It means be quiet.
Yes.
I don't want to hear you.
Yes. Stifle
Unfortunately,
your here's what I hear. Stifle your emotions. Please
yeah.
allow me to say that because Christine sees it from a different perspective, and no, we don't preempt these things, and that's for that same reason. So I want her to hear it from a different perspective, and us men, and I hear it from a different perspective. And I truly started repeating that and teaching that to my boys until a couple of years ago. And then I said, no more,
Mm,
because I understood that stifling my emotions and stifling my feelings is what has made that callus in my chest or my inner.
yeah,
So
in your
I'm going
heart.
to quietly say yes. And so I'm going to quietly say, Christine's dad may have wanted to be, and I'm not saying he was, but I'm saying he may wanted to be the lightest at his weight class or whatever it is. So he may not have felt like, even though he wasn't big enough, maybe he wanted to be small enough. See, we don't know the perspective of man.
Yeah.
And the man that's big, maybe he wanted to be the smallest, but he just couldn't find comfort in that. So he grew himself to be muscular. And again, as long as you're happy,
Mm,
that's truly. But
yes.
when we start comparing and
Yeah.
we start looking at highlight reels on our phones and almost idolizing where we are not,
Hmm.
that's where again I we're gonna go respectively. We can find it in anything. You see your boss and you're like, man, he carries him. Man, I wish I was like that. And so, and again, there are things that we can be positive about it.
Yes. And I love how you
Chime on
said,
in.
man, I wish I was like that. So then I have admired people like Oprah Winfrey, like Angie Stoker, like, but what is it? So stop and really think about what is it that you admire about them? Really stop. What is it? So I admired that the energy that they gave out. I was like, okay, so what can I, where am I at? Right. And we need to evaluate ourselves honestly. And I thought I was here, but in the end, I was way down here. And every time I noticed a bit more, I was like, oh, goodness, it's okay. I'm comparing myself to me, to where I want to be. And now I know I have this beautiful energy because I focused on how can I do this for me, not for them, not to be compared to other people, but just for me, for who I am. And I had to open up to listen to my inner wisdom because that, in my opinion, is key to the joy that we want to feel, to the happiness that we want to vibrate. Because when we're in joy, when we are happy, we vibrate at a different level than when we're in the fear mode. We're afraid of this. And
Let,
go ahead.
let me go simple. Remember, guys,
Yes,
she dropped a lot there. She that was really
it's okay.
pause, pause, and that's where the tap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the breathe in and let those emotions, let those outer thoughts, let those doubts, let those questions, let those things just quiet down and just listen to yourself. I had a networking event. I'm going to share from the same event that I met Erskine at. And the lady said, which really was sad, she said, I never trust my feelings. Don't ever trust your gut feelings
Mm,
because it's going to be wrong. And I was like, oh, so, so hurt, so hurt that I could hear that through that because I'm going to tell you, your gut feeling is going to keep you safest. But in order to listen to align with, to be able to hear
yes.
that alignment, that inner, that gut feeling, instead of somebody else's mom's concern for you. dads worry for you,
Mhm.
your partners
Mhm.
no limitations. And listen, they do it with such strong convictions and emotions for you because they do really want the best for you. But somewhere down the line, they felt deception, they felt not enoughness when
Yeah.
they started leaning into wherever they were going to, and then they met with an obstacle. And instead of overcoming that obstacle, they recluse themselves into say, maybe that's not for me. But I tell you, it is there for everyone, and you will be the beacon that will show mom, dad, partner, or otherwise, as I just said, when people look at you or look up at employees or supervisors or co-workers or a delivery man and just say, man, I admire. So sometimes people come into your life to change your life. Some people to show you what you want, what you're willing to put up with. And if you love yourself enough, what you're not going to accept in your life, and that's okay, and move forward and say, this is what I do want, and these are the people that I'm going to reach out to. And that is how you're going to change mom's life. And imagine her to come back and saying, Christine shared her dad at 90 years old. Imagine her dad coming to her in this year and saying, I've been listening to this ripple effect of love and I started trying something new. Could you guys imagine? Because this happens. This
Actually,
truly, yes,
it does happen. Actually, I go on walks with my dad to get him out of the house and keep moving because, I like to hike, and I've had him use the snap tap as you breathe in, tapping on a meridian point, relax the shoulders, and exhale. I think your screen just froze, Christian. And letting it go, maybe into a spiraling train if you haven't seen the episodes from before the holidays, or in a beautiful hot air balloon. Imagine you're pulling on the cord that burns all that up because you don't need it. And he actually said, "Oh, I
I'm
felt
going to I'm going to excuse myself today. We have a last minute a doctor's appointment. We're dealing with that
no
pneumonia, COVID.
worries.
I'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
soon.
much for hopping on, Christian. That was beautiful. Take care of yourself and your beautiful family." So, as I was saying, there's always so much that we can do to support ourselves, but we first need to calm down our amygdala. And when we calm down our amygdala, it allows us to be able to hear our inner wisdom. So, how do we do this? Easy. Snap or clap. Breathe in as you scan your body to see where you're uncomfortable. Is it the pinky toe, lower back, the shoulders? Are you carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Tap on a meridian point. Here's the collarbone just down here. And exhale. Let go of everything that you've been carrying so that you can just be yourself instead of what everybody else has to say. Sorry, itchy nose. And a deep breath in again, relaxing the shoulders and exhaling. Taking a few minutes or even a few seconds every hour to see if there's any little stressors showing up that you can release right away. I want to just give you a quick tip If you're with a group of people and you don't want to be tapping on your collarbone, sternum, or around the ears like I've shown you earlier, you can tap on your fingertips like this under the table to self-regulate yourself. Because when people trigger us, we want to stay calm, centered, and grounded. You can practice with the TV. Listening to the news can trigger some of us. And instead of going into our emotions of anger, of disbelief, try it. Snap, breathe in as you scan, tap. Now I'm tapping under the table. Relax your shoulders and exhale that out. It's worth it. And see how you feel. And then see yourself staying calm in the midst of the chaos and being able to tune in to your inner wisdom, to be able to feel, is this really a safe thing for me to do? Is this the best for my business, for my children, for my job, for my spouse? Just tune in, because as you tap on the fingertips, you're sending a message to the survival part of your brain to tell it that you are safe, that everything is okay in this instant. So the thoughts that you have, the emotions that you have, the fears, we all want to be the best parent for our children. It's not easy because we come with baggage. So tomorrow, join us at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and see what else we can tune into and release another layer so that we can be the best version of ourselves by tuning into our inner wisdom. So take great care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get a notification, and just keep doing your best because you deserve to do your best. And tomorrow, in episode 13, we will be talking about tuning into your wisdom a little deeper. So, have a great day and take care.